Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing on? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Once again, live on Twitch. It's Wednesday night. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Once again, Bose 831 Gaming is live on Twitch. And you're tuned in to Bose 831 Gaming's Twitch live stream series where we're playing Farming Simulator 22 and we're on the Alma, Missouri map. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. And when we last left off on the series, actually, before we get into that, we got a few things we want to cover real quickly. First of all, we had some of the biggest news announced in the Farming Simulator 22 community in quite some time. And that was on Tuesday of this week. Giant Software announced that the upcoming release of the next version of the Farming Simulator game series, Farming Simulator 25. They're taking pre-orders are available now. The game will be available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. The game will not be available on PS4 or the previous versions of Xbox One S, and Xbox One. It will only be available on next gen consoles, PC, and Mac. And the scheduled release date is November the 12th, and pre-orders are available now for all platforms. And you can go to the Farming Simulator website for more information. They've also announced the release schedule for DLC, and they have different packages with different versions of the game available. They've announced. Let's go here to the website because I don't want to give erroneous information. Media, games. But they've announced a number of different pre-order bonuses. They've announced the schedule for the year one DLC. There's going to be 4 DLC packs with a map going into 4 quarters, very similar to how they did it for Farming Simulator 22. But you can go to the Farming Simulator website or various YouTube channels to get detailed information. Also available on the Farming Simulator website. And I advise you to go ahead and get your pre-orders in now. I will be ordering for the full premium package with the year one DLC pack and all of that good stuff. In fact, let's look at it here. I'm sorry for the sluggish start here, but I want to find. Okay, now I can't find it when I want to look for it. And I had talked this out before I got on live, and then I go live. But one of the exciting things about it is it looks like we're going to have a swather in the base game. The MacDon branded swather will be available in the game and is free with the pre-order. If you pre-order the game, there are a few different configurations you can get the game in. I'm going to be ordering the year one bundle that includes the game, a gold harvester, the MacDon pack, plus it gives you access to the year one DLC plus the expansion. There's going to be three packs and 1 expansion at the end of in the fourth quarter of 2025, and that's the version I'm going to be ordering on Xbox. So excited about that. But But enough about that. That's coming down the road. When the game does release in November, I will be transitioning to live streaming Farming Simulator 25 and playing whatever the default US map is on the game, and we'll transition into that. I haven't decided yet how long I'm going to run this Alma series, but we'll kind of play that by ear. We're getting up in the episode number now. But we still have a lot we want to accomplish. And you're looking around now. You're looking at my yard, and you're seeing that things in my yard have changed drastically. So I got to get you up to speed with where we're at in the process on the farm, because I've done a lot of things off camera. First of all, make sure we planted our corn on field 11. We've lime, rolled, and all of the processes that are required for planting. Also on our pig farm, let's just go ahead and hop over there. We sold all of our crops that we had on the silo on this farm, and we replaced our above ground silos with these underground silos by Schultz Modding, and we placed these underground silos on my pig farm and on the main farm here. And we've also, let's go over here to where our silos are previously located at. We unloaded all of the wheat that we had on the farm, and we sold the sorghum. We sold all our crops that we could sell, and we delivered as much wheat as we could to the production chain. So the wheat production is, if we go down here to production chains, our grain mill is maxed to capacity. We sold what we couldn't, but we didn't sell all of it. We put the rest of the remaining wheat that we couldn't deliver to the production back in the silo. We still have a sorghum for our chickens here. We also placed our buy points for seeds, fertilizer, and lime in this area. We moved all of those buy points from over in this area, and we placed our buy points for, and now I'm thinking about it, I may end up getting rid of these, but I haven't completely decided yet. But we have our herbicide and liquid fertilizer buy points as well, and you'll see why I'm saying that. We may end up getting rid of those momentarily. And we also placed one of these Schultz Modding underground silos here. The silo is a multi-fruit silo, stores both solids and liquids. What else did we do? Make sure we corrected an issue. I kind of off camera figured out what was going on with the ketchup production. It's still a bit bottlenecked, but what was happening is, if we go over here, let's go over here to the map. Let's make sure we're still, if we go over here to the ketchup production point, where is it at? Popcorn factory, ketchup production. We accidentally had the ketchup set to storing, so our ketchup wasn't being distributed to our production points. We're still going to need to, I think, move those pallets off so they can be picked up and consumed in the distribution point. Actually, we'll probably have to pick those pallets up and move them physically over to the pizzeria. I think we'll need to do that just to kind of move that along, because they're just going to sit here until they're distributed, because they've been spawned already, so they're not going to automatically be distributed. So we'll need to do that work on that real quick. I gotta totally space that off. When I was working on things off camera, we got in either case that got the pizza production going. Now we corrected that issue. We just need to go move those pallets, and we'll do that in just a bit. Butter and cheese, it caught up automatically once it stopped being bottlenecked. We also had our popcorn and butter popcorn production set to storing instead of selling, and so we corrected that issue, and now the popcorn factory is working. We're still having some bottlenecks with the tailor shop, and what I'm probably going to do here is to kind of balance it out. And I think we talked about that last episode. Is I'm probably going to buy some fabric, and we're just going to go ahead and uh, buy some fabric and input it into the tailor shop so that this tailor shop has a backlog, and then when you have lapses in production, it will catch up automatically, but it'll never go to the point where it's completely out, and that way it'll pick up the production slack automatically. So we'll do that. What else do we have here? And I think that's it. We set the pig food production to storing because we're not really focused on selling our pig food for profit. Most our pig food factory is mostly at this point we're usually using it to produce pig feed to feed our pigs. In the future, we may set that to selling if we need to make additional profit, but for now we're just going to keep it bottlenecked just for the purpose of producing feed for the pigs on our farm. So we just need to kind of go grab the ketchup production pallets and move them over to the pizzeria, and that will help get the pizzeria going. But the ketchup production is still bottlenecked because we don't have tomatoes coming through, but that should auto correct itself here in just a bit. What we're probably also going to do is I think we're going to let's go here where we're at. Wrong look. I think we're going to reorient and add some more greenhouses onto the main farm in order to increase our output of all of the materials that are produced by the greenhouse. Because if we look at it right now, we have two of each type of greenhouse. Let's go to productions again. We have two of the large greenhouses that produce tomatoes, lettuce, strawberries, and pumpkin. I think we want to reorient the greenhouses so that we can have four, or at least 3 or 4. I'm thinking maybe 4. And we'll do the same thing with the fruit greenhouses. We'll place those down and reorient those so that we have at least 3 or 4 possible. Let's go to the main farm, because the fruit greenhouses are going to be a little more tricky because they have the tank on one side and the manure pit on the other, so I won't per se be able to do the same trick that I'm going to do here. In fact, let's go ahead and do that now. So let's go into build mode real quick here. Let me go in the main farm. And just in case we screw this completely up, we're going to go ahead and save the game. And how we want to do it is we're going to go back into let's get out of the way. Go into the buy menu. Whoops, wrong one. And we want to go to production, greenhouses, and we want to go to the Alma, Missouri custom greenhouses, and we want to place another large greenhouse. But we want to toggle free mode on so that we can place this where we want it at. And what we're trying to do here is we want to place this right over the spawn point so that pallets will never spawn. And that way we could place the greenhouses with a tighter placement and place them almost right next to each other. And if we place it just right, hopefully that's it. Please be it. If I did that properly, when we come in here, they'll be perfectly lined up, and the spawn point is blocked. Looks like we got it. Alright, and we want to place one more of these. So that's 1, 2. Actually, let's see. Go back to production, greenhouses, large greenhouse. Or do we want to place it beside this one and just keep that corridor free for now? Let's do that. Let's try this idea first. Let's see here if I can just get you lined up here. Play nice with me. Oops. I'm in the way. Alright, let's try that again. Production, greenhouses. Select the large greenhouse. Toggle free mode off. On, excuse me. And hope like heck we can place this bad boy here and don't have any weird landscape or terrain issues happen. Let's see, how do we do? We got a little bit of a floaty thing going on here with the water tank. So let's see if we can kind of smooth out the terrain. So let's go to landscaping, soften, let's increase the brush strength and see if we can kind of smooth this out. Did that help or make it worse? No change. Alright, so we can clean that up another way. Let's do put some grass down there and clean it up that way. Oops. Alright. And we have the option, although we could place another greenhouse here, but that should be more than enough for the purposes of what we're doing right now, but that option is available. Now on this side, what we want to do is go back into build mode, because we're just getting started here. And hopefully I don't screw this up. We're going to take a loss on this because we're going to have to reorient this greenhouse. We're going to have to sell it. And we want to, before we try to place it down, let's make sure the terrain is happy and get that all squared away, so we don't have any weird terrain issues happen when we do the placement. And then let's go ahead and no, we could paint after. All right, we'll go to production, greenhouses, and this we want to place the fruit greenhouse, which is a different type of greenhouse. And in this situation, we want to orient it this way so that the trigger sits here and blocks the trigger for the other one, so that we won't have pallets spawning, because they won't be able to spawn. And that's the trick that we're trying to get here. And we toggle free mode on. And if I did this right, we should be able to place it. And it should drop right in there. And the trigger point is blocked. And we have the option to place 2 more of these, which I'm going to do because I'm thinking ahead. We're going to soon have another production point where there'll be greater demand for the fruits that are produced from this greenhouse down the line. But I just want to make sure I leave enough space between these greenhouses so that we can navigate whatever vehicle we need to bring between the greenhouses, so that we can fill the manure points. So I got to be careful with my placement here. So I'm going to place one here and then another one here. And if I do this right, we should line them up. And we should be right on top of each other with little to no space. And please have done that right. I hope I did that right. Alright, looks good. Looks good. Alright, doesn't look too crazy on this side. Awesome. Alright, so now we just have to do a little cleanup landscaping here. So we just go here, landscaping, plants, do some grass. So I'm gonna do some grass painting in these areas between the greenhouses just to make it look a little cleaner. Oops. And I overdid that. I'm out there. Alright. And we could just paint over or even hide the triggers altogether for the spawn points, but because I'm not going to be utilizing them at any point in time. And I wonder if I put grass over it, will that keep pallets from spawning there as well. In fact, that's what we're gonna do, just to kind of dress that up, make that look less weird. I do that on both sides, and that may keep pallets from ever accidentally spawning here. And just clean all this up. Alright, and same thing on this side. And in fact, we can do this all around and just kind of paint a way up to the manure pit. All right, I like the way we're kind of coming along here. All right, clean all this up. All right, and then paint some grass in between. All right. I love it when a plan comes together. And we got some grass shown on the inside, but that's all right. Doesn't have to be perfect, but looks good. All right, just clean it up. All right, so there we go. Now I have to tell you, you get into the other thing that I did off camera. We've turned our farm into a Massey Ferguson farm. I sold all of my previous tractor and we purchased all Massey Ferguson tractors now. So let's go over here to my owned items, and we have we're kitted out with all Massey Ferguson tractors on our main farm. We have the Massey Ferguson 5S 145 Dyna X. That's a small tractor. For a medium tractor, we have the Massey Ferguson 8S 305 Dyna VT. And for our large tractor, we have the Massey Ferguson 8740S. And we sold our other tractors, the John Deere, the Case, and actually the two Case tractors that we had previously. And that was all done off camera. So this is the new shiny. We got one large, one medium, and one small tractor on our main farm. We kept the small Valtra that we had on the pig farm. I was thinking about swapping that one out, but we just bought that one. We only had that one 6 months, so it wouldn't make much sense to go ahead and sell that one, even though I kind of wanted to do a whole Massey Ferguson farm across the board, but I'm a big Massey Ferguson fan. But we'll just work with what we have for now. And I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything else. But now that we got these greenhouses in place, we need to go ahead and get them set up properly. So let's go ahead and grab our TLX 1982 and work on getting our greenhouses initially set up. And we'll start with our manure first. So let's go ahead and grab that. And we have plenty of manure available between all three of our farms. So if we use all of the available manure here, we can go grab some from our other cow farm. I don't think we will need to, but we'll play it by ear. But we're going to go ahead and pull everything that we have here and see how much we use. And I forgot we have the dump trailer set to the unrealistic configuration. So I need to switch it back to the realistic configuration, because in most cases I do want to try to play realistic most of the time, depending on what I'm doing. But we had it set to unrealistic while we were going through the process of moving crops around when I was removing the original silos that we had on the farm and replacing them with the silos we have in place now. Okay. I'll just go ahead and unload as much manure as we can. Yeah, see, and we still have a little area here where if need be, and we need to place 2 more fruit greenhouses, we can. We also have an area here where we can place 1, maybe 2 more greenhouses, so that's available if necessary. But we finished using the manure that we can load into the greenhouses for now, so we're going to put the leftover manure back in the silo. And there's a ton of other stuff I want to get into tonight. We got to make sure we get that started, because there's an awesome new mod that I want to showcase tonight that's going to be a major part of my gameplay going forward. And I've been testing that mod off camera extensively, and hopefully it won't let me down and do something weird that didn't happen when I was testing it. So stay tuned for that. We're going to showcase that in just a bit. Just make sure that we get all this set up before we move forward with that process, because that's going to be a cool thing we're going to be getting into in just a bit, because we're going to be using mainly liquid herbicide and liquid fertilizer on my farms going forward. And there's a new mod that's out that's going to assist us with that process, and we're going to use it for our seed runner purposes and all of that. But you'll see more in just a bit. But first, let's go ahead and get these greenhouses set up. Oops. Well, kind of helps if you actually set the greenhouses up, doesn't it? Let's go to our production chains menu. Just have to go in here and set them up, right? There we go. I'm going to turn all of these on, and we want to sell them. Tomatoes to distributing, lettuce to selling. We don't have anything. What uses strawberries? Sure, it's got to have the same setting as the other greenhouses. Let's see. Tomatoes is distributing, lettuce is selling, others are distributing. Lettuce is the only one that's selling. The others are distributing. So strawberries is distributing. Pumpkin is distributing. Same thing here. Turn all of these on. And distributing. Selling. Distributing. Distributing. Alright. For greenhouse fruits, we turn all of these on for for all of them. And let's look at what's the setup for them. Uh-oh, did we mess up the main one? Oh, it turned all of them off. I know pineapple is distributing, apple is distributing, not sure on lemon and orange, so let's go take a look. Oh, here we go. So lemon is selling and then all the others are distributing. Okay, so distributing. And that will change once we get the juice production going, and that's the other production point we're going to place in the not too distant future. And that's going to create a much greater demand for the fruits coming from this warehouse, and then everything coming from these greenhouses will be used in a production at that point. So all of those are turned on, set up properly now. Let's see. Selling, nope. Oh yeah. Greenhouse fruits. Selling, distributing. Selling, distributing. Selling, distributing. And large greenhouse should be selling lettuce, and everything else is distributing. Alright, awesome. Okay. There we go. So next up, we need to go ahead and close this. And now we should be able to distribute water. In fact, we're already out of water. And we're going to have to make quite a few trips here to get these greenhouses set up properly initially. But once we get them set up initially, we won't have to make as many runs for water, because we'll just be keeping them topped off after that going forward. But the initial setup is going to take quite a bit of water, so that's where we're at right now. Here, boom. And this tanker doesn't have an unrealistic capacity setting, so we're just gonna have to make multiple trips with it. It's just kind of easier to do that because I could lease a larger tanker trailer, but by the time we drive back and forth to the shop and do all that stuff, it's just probably less time consuming than just to make a few multiple trips here and just get them set up this one time and be done with it. Alright. Although it's going to be quite a few trips, so might think that. Let me see something. What is the actually, I know what I'll do. We are going to use a different setup here. We do have a tanker that has a much larger capacity that will cut down on these trips. Because this tanker is mainly just for topping off and not for setting up. So let's go ahead and do that. Exactly what we're going to do to speed that whole process up. So let's go ahead and drop that off. And we'll come back to you in just a bit. We're going to use this much larger water tank capacity that we have here. We just got to bring it over to our main farm. This is the in-cab view. I haven't done that in a while, but that's what that looks like. And some of the guys that are into playing ultra realistically, this is the only way they play with whatever vehicles they're using in the game. I kind of want to see what I'm doing, and it's kind of disorienting because you don't have that excuse me, that feedback you would have in real life. So playing in cab is very disorienting for me, so I don't particularly play that way, although it is really cool, don't get me wrong. Alright, so that's 25,000 liters of water. That's a bit more than the other tanker will hold. Of course, my issue here is going to be getting the tanker in a position between the greenhouses, because the way I have them set up is just so that I could drive the vehicle in between them. But we can get it in there. Don't know if the trigger point will sense or activate. Do we have to be on a certain side that looks that way? Unless that was full. I didn't think it was. Which way did I come in there? Did I back in this way, or do I need to back in another way? trigger to pop. Doesn't seem to be. Have to come in from this side. Not getting the water trigger to appear. That's interesting. I don't know why, because we have plenty of water here. Let's see if it's experienced the same issue with these water tanks. So something's amiss. Not quite sure what the issue is. Because that opens the toolbox there, so that wouldn't be what's going on. That's weird. Alright, let's see if I pull it through with a tractor, if it changes anything, because this game can be stupidly weird sometimes. I can't always make heads or tails of when something's gonna be temperamental. But we're clearly having one of those moments right now. Because water is water. Nothing special about that. But I might need to get a tractor with a few more horses to pull this bad boy. Alright. Nope, nothing doing. Let me get the. Alright, that's too much. Too much weight for you. I'm not quite sure what's going on, guys. Trying to figure it out. But these greenhouses are not liking this water tank right now. And I'm 1000% not understanding why. No, nothing. This is vexing, to say the least. And I really am wasting more time than I would be if I was just making multiple trips with the other tanker. But I called myself trying to speed it up, but apparently I broke the whole process by using a different tanker trailer. So, let's go over here. I have a sell point that I left on the map for when I was working on some things off camera. Let's see if it sees it all day. That's water. So this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But this water tanker is 100% incompatible with the greenhouses. They just don't recognize it. And I don't know if there's some tricky little thing you need to do with the trigger, or like if I move over here, is there like a overloading? But normally a trigger will pop once you get close enough. But I'm not getting any of the normal options. It sees I'm not getting any of the options that you should get to fill water. That's so annoying. That's stupidly annoying. One more idea, and then we're gonna go back to making a 10,000 trips, guys. This makes no. Do that. That's a line. Alright. And I just reset the whole configuration. As a last ditch effort to try to understand what the issue is. And I'm going to fill it back up with water one more time. Actually, that's enough, because we'll know quickly whether or not this equipment wants to play nice or continue to be a pain. Ain't nothing happening there. Oops. Crash counter +1. Nothing happening there. Makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. This is one of those deals when you gotta love it when a plan doesn't come together. And there's nowhere it seems that I can move it where we get an option where a trigger pops up. Because I'm playing on console, I can't. There are options if I was playing on PC where I can see what's going on with the triggers, but I can't do that on console because I can't put the game in a debug mode or anything like that. So I don't know what the issue is here, but it's very dumb, but I'm not gonna let it completely annoy me. But it is frustrating. Because I'm gonna have to make a lot of trips to get those greenhouses started, thanks to this bug. And now I'm kind of leery about leasing another tanker trailer, and I could still end up in the same boat. But I don't wanna. Let me see. Guess I should have did that from the outset, but let's see. That's a killjoy early tonight. I'm gonna try. I wasn't gonna do any unrealistic shenanigans, but I think we may let's see here. Let's see here. Actually, how can we rectify this? Alright. Not quite sure what I want to do here now. Cause this, well, let's just drop off a few tanks of water and see what the numbers look like. And that may govern what we do next. Still not getting a pickup. Okay, what the heck's going on, brother? Oh, it's still recognizing the other tank, but it didn't recognize this one. Okay, I'm confused. Alright. This has turned into a totally another thing. I don't even know what's happening now. Now we're not getting any of the water triggers to work. Okay. Okay, that's water. Nope. I don't know what's going on right now. I really don't. I just wedged my vehicle into a low hole, didn't I? Man, this is fun. You gotta be kidding me, bro. There we go. Gosh. What the heck, man? I don't know. Well, just like I said, once things work nice until you go live, and then everything goes haywire while I'm live, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Let's see what is okay. And I missed a manure fill point for one of these greenhouses as well, so here I go again. So I gotta be careful not to get this vehicle wedged between greenhouses. And we're just gonna make multiple trips with a tanker that we know that works. I'm gonna have to do some testing off camera or whatever and try to figure out what's going on with that other tanker. It's weird. but not like a happy kind of weird, but an annoying kind of weird. I was just throwing off the whole thing that I wanted to do primarily tonight, because I'm spending more time on this issue than what I had initially planned to showcase tonight. In fact, the water triggers on these greenhouses are just temperamental overall, aren't they? Appears to be the case. I never would have known that. We got a few bugs, kinks that we're gonna have to work out here with this setup, I see. Come back to that one, because I know these take a lot more water. But we're getting completely sidetracked on this issue, and it's taking time away from the other thing I wanted to showcase tonight. So now I'm going to be pressed for time to get into the other thing I wanted to do tonight, and we're probably going to have to continue that on the next episode of the series, because I've wasted this first hour troubleshooting this issue. And just make sure we got water in each of the greenhouses starting off, and we'll just come back and finish that up later is what I think we'll do there. We can just work on that off camera, which is where I should have pivoted to it first when we first encountered this issue, but I thought it was something that could be rather easily and quickly resolved, but such is not the case. Alright, so let's grab a Nor. We'll start with that much to see if that's enough. Alright, and we'll just go ahead and top all those off, because actually I might be able to, let's try not to get stuck this time. I might be able to resolve this water distribution with the mod that I'm going to showcase here. Let's go ahead and unload this manure first. And we'll just pivot on to that right now before we run out of time. Whoops, crash counter plus 2. 2 crashes already and counting. So let's keep that on there. Alright, let's go over here to the TLX 3500. Let's grab that tanker trailer and we're just going to haul that back over to our other farm. We're done with that. I'll work on troubleshooting what's going on in the greenhouses and finish filling the greenhouses up at a later time off camera. In fact, I got one other wild hunch. Let me see if this might be affecting. But I think if you take that off, there's no towing hitches there. Nope. It doesn't have one by default. Because I don't know if there might be an issue with the gas tank interfering with the water tank or something like that. Who knows? Trigger for the gas tank interfering with the trigger for the water tanks, or who knows. I had a weird thing like that with 82 Studios, one of his tankers one time. I never did figure out why, but just sometimes mods are not compatible for whatever reasons. But I'm just limited on console with what I can do to troubleshoot and run across these type of bugs or issues. But there's nothing logically which says why this is happening. Enough about that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this tanker back to our other farm because we know it works over there. And actually, I'm in doubt with that. So before I say that, let me go to that cow barn and make sure tanker can still drop water into that water trigger for that cow barn, because I'm kind of thrown off by this little bug that we have happening now. But like I said, what I'll do is I'm going to do some testing off camera to see if it's some kind of weird issue with the mod. If not, that might influence my decision on which mod I use going forward. For the rest of the series and on future playthroughs, because if you run into an issue on this map, there's probably a decent possibility you may run into a similar issue on other maps. curious to see if, yeah, see it works. It picks this up, picks it up fine here. That is so weird. That's completely perplexing. Alright, so we're going to head over to the shop, and let me quickly try to get into what I wanted to get into most of tonight, most of tonight's episode, but we've been thrown completely off. Before I do that, first thing I want to need to do is I want to need to reconfigure the TLX. It sits too high for what I'm about to do. So we're going to have to go in here and go in the shop. Let's repair it first. Repair. In fact, that might be what's happening with the trailer. But we're going to customize our flatbed. We want to do actually, no, we need to customize the TLX. Because with the Continental tires, the truck sits too high for what I'm about to do. So we want to do the basics. Well, we're going to do the all-terrain tires so that the truck sits low, because you see when you change the tires, it changes how high the truck sits, and that can cause issues with goosenecks and different little things like that I've encountered in testing. So we're going to do the all-terrain setup, and that has it sit just a little bit higher, but not too high. And go ahead and customize that and leave everything else the same. And then for the TLX flatbed, we're going to customize it with the service rack metallized configuration. Not side rails, we'll keep that standard. Actually, I think we'll just leave that as is. Let's see if we encounter any issues with that, we'll come back and reconfigure it. But the main thing is that we have it sitting low. Alright, and I'm going to go into the shop, and I'm going to go to mods and DLCs, and this is the mod I want to showcase tonight, late as it is because of the other stuff that we ran into. And this mod is by BC Bueller, and it's available on the in-game mod hub, and it's the Fiber Dash Chemical Mixing. And with this bit of kit, you can mix your own herbicide and fertilizer with water and the chemical mix. But there's 3 different pre-configured trailers, and then the mod comes with a multitude of different flatbed trailers, and you can kind of put together your own configurations. It's kind of like a Lego set in a way, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. You have different tanks. You can if you want to go big or you want to go small, you can do there's different size tanks available. And then you have this is the chemical mix for making liquid fertilizer, and then you have jugs for mixing your own herbicide, and you have to mix these with water, or you could buy a big tote of herbicide, or you could buy multiple jugs or individual jugs at the same time. Then you have your water pump, tote deck, and then you have your mixer. You got a small mixer, that's the Dash 1.4. Then you have a large mixer that's a dash 4.4. You have a storage cage, you got a storage tote deck, and so on and so forth. But I've done some testing, like I say, off camera with this, and I already know how I want my setup configured. So right now I'm going to go ahead and do the gooseneck version of the trailer, flatbed trailer that comes with this. And you want to have it set up for the dash configuration so you could customize your configuration and plug and play your different pieces as needed. I'm going to keep the wheel set up as tandem, as the default tandem. I want the deck over the neck. I want to do the deck over the neck setup, and that puts a deck over on top of the gooseneck. For the main color, I want to do, since we're doing a Massey Ferguson farm, we're going to do a Massey Ferguson configuration. And I'm going to go ahead and buy that flatbed. Next up, I want to get the storage cage, and we're going to go ahead and buy, let's see, we're going to do XSX. We're going to do Massey Ferguson colors for most of our setups. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that. And for the chemical mixer, we're going to do a standard filling configuration. We're also going to put that in Massey colors. Go ahead and buy that. We'll need one of those. And this comes with a water pump built in, so I wanted to buy a separate water pump. We don't need the tote deck for how I'm going to do it. We're going to buy a, let's see, do I want to do a herbicide tote, or do I want to do individual jugs? We'll do a tote of herbicide that's 24,000. And like, you could use different brands of chemicals. There's a number of different brands, but that doesn't change anything. It's just for immersion. If you want to, whatever brand you want to put in there, so we're going to do that. Simplicity is the brand we'll put on there. We're not going to do the individual jugs, but we're also going to buy a pallet of soluble fertilizer. Go ahead and get that. And we need a tank. And let's see, what size tank do we want to get? We're going to go ahead and get the largest size tank, design standard. I like the design with the ladder. And I want that to be in white, and the hoops to be in Massey color, since that's the theme we're doing right now. And we'll buy that. And other than that, we just got to put it all together. So we're gonna need to lease a forklift, and we're gonna lease the Man 2 for right now. And let's get everything going here. Alright, so first thing we have to do to get this setup started is, let's move the gooseneck over to a better location so that I can work with it. Let's go grab our TLX 3500. And we're still too high on me. Yeah. Alright, so that's the first feature, not a bug, that we got to figure out. So, customize, basics. So does that get us low enough, or we'll need to reconfigure the deck to get it to sit lower? Let's see. still too high. And of course, when I did this offline, did not encounter all these issues, but again, never fails. Let's see, configuration standard. Know why that tension belt is fastened. Alright, we're still... is there a bump here on the ground or something? This ground must be uneven, because I just did this a little while ago, and we didn't encounter all these issues getting the trailer hitched on here. Alright, this is very... alright. What's going on, brother? This is my night for issues, apparently. There we go. This terrain is uneven. All right. Well, that was a fun start. That's been one of those evenings. Alright, so we got the gooseneck attached. Alright, so this is the base. Now we want to get a water tank in place. And you want to make sure that the water fill cap is facing forward. So we want to come from this side, and we just want to drop that on the deck. Like so. There we go. And then you jump in the truck, and you should get an option to attach. There it is. You hit attach, and that's part one of the configuration is set up. So we have the tank, the water tank. Next up, we want to add our mixer. So first I gotta get it. Everything's all lined up here, and I can't get my forklift in the right way I need to. So I'm gonna come from behind and get it out of the way. Yeah, this ground's uneven. That explains a lot of the issues we are having today. Yeah, this terrain is very uneven. And we want the back of the mixer to be facing the tank, with the pump, with the side with the pump facing the tank. Alright, so we get that there. And drop that, the mixer, in the hot bike in the truck. Should get an option to attach. It appears so that you know it's in the right place. Go ahead and attach, and we have the mixer in place. And now we want to add our cage. And the thing about the cage is you want to make sure that the side with the external handle is facing towards the mixer. So you see where you got this little door handle right here on this side. So we'll go ahead and pick that up. And we're gonna grab place the cage here in this area. And drop that down, allegedly. And that should be in position there. When we hop back in the truck, you should get the option to attach. Boom. Cage locked in. And there's one piece of equipment I forgot, but basically this is the base configuration for how we would have this set up. But there is one other mod that this setup works with that I'm going to use this for as well, so that we can have multiple configurations. So we're going to go back into my mods and DLCs, and I'm looking for the seed runner. And this is by Schultz Modding, and we want to customize it. Right now we just have it as a standard capacity, and again we're running all Massey all day around here, so we're going to do Massey colors. So we'll go ahead and buy that for $9,000. Then we're going to get our forklift. And we're going to grab the seed runner. And this is not part of the setup for the mod, but it's another mod, different mod that this mixer setup is compatible with. And just another option for how you can configure excuse me, this setup. And we're gonna bring the seed runner up top right here. And when I did the testing off camera, it was so much smoother, all of this. There we go. Kinda, sorta. And we're just going to that one strap. One strap there and one strap there. Make sure that's on there. And now we have our configuration, base configuration, at least how I'm going to be using. There's a number of different ways you could do different configurations with different flat deck trailers and with the different bits and pieces in them in this mod, and you see more of what we're working towards here in just a few. But right now, the next thing we want to do is we need to go fill our water tank with some water. So we're going to go over to my cow farm, old cow farm, or my secondary farm. And I got to be real careful on those turns. And we're going to go get some free water. And I could drive over to my main farm and get free water from my main farm, but this is much closer for the purposes of what we're doing right now. And we're just going to fill the water tank up with some water. And we got the largest water tank that's available with this set, so we'll just wait for that to fill up. I could have got a smaller water tank, and in the future, depending on what my needs are, we may swap it out to a smaller configuration. Right now we don't need this large of a configuration per se, because we're not going to be mixing that much herbicide and liquid fertilizer. But this will serve the purposes for what we're doing right now, just to get us started. And with this configuration that I have now, we can do seeds, we can do herbicide, we can do fertilizer, all in this one configuration that I have right now. Alright, so I'm going to bring that back around and showcase a few other features of the mod before we... Alright, so I'm going to press Y, and we're going to move over to... We have the cage highlighted, I think it is. And do we press Y stick, right and left? Is that where we do it? No. It's... there. When we have the tank highlighted, we can open the door using the right stick, and that's this door here. And that opens and closes this door on the cage. And if we want to move the other doors, I think it's right stick this way, right? Or is it right stick that way? One of them. I gotta figure out. Or do we have to have the cage highlighted? And then we'll do right stick. Nope, it's not the cage. Is it that one? Right stick, right stick. Oh, that opens the other door. And right stick, that opens that door. There's another configuration where you could open that one. No. Do we hold both of them down and then right stick? Yeah. Push right and left trigger down, and then right stick, and that opens this gate. And if you want to do those, you do right bumper, that opens that side of the cage, or you do right bumper side to side, excuse me, up and down, and that opens the other side of the cage. If you hold them both down, that does the middle set, and that's when you have the cage highlighted. All right. So back to, so let's go here, and if we want to mix up herbicide, we'll just get the unmixed herbicide palette here. And we're gonna go ahead and store that on top of the cage, or do we want to put that inside the cage? I don't know if it'll let me put it inside. Actually, let's see. I'm gonna put that on top. But the problem is we got the seed runner in the way. So I'm going to have to move the seed runner a bit forward. Alright, now you don't want to craft ray, homie. Now this one strap that's being temperamental. I should have never let that one on. Because now that's the one that won't let me unbuckle. And I can't. And that's the only strap that I can't get to. That's a bad idea. Alright. All right. This ain't nothing but the devil. And that's the only tension belt that won't highlight. Wow. Hey. Oh, what a night, guys. Oh, what a night. Note to self, do not fasten the center strap ever. I mean, I can't get that one to unfasten at all. No matter what angle I'm looking at it from. That is crazy. Alright. Watch this. Bad idea. But necessity is the mother of invention. And right now we trying to figure out how to unfasten that one single monster strap here. And I mean, it won't unstrap. Thank you. Good gosh. Now I gotta try to see if I can get the trailer to. But once again, we're on uneven terrain, and I'm on a side. This has just been a exercise and futility in a lot of ways tonight. the craziness that you have to go through to get the truck low enough to get the trailer in. I'm gonna have to switch up the truck I'm using for this, because this one just sits too high. Yep. Alright. It's been a blast today, and we're just about to run out of time, and I keep running into issues. I'm, from one thing to another one, to another one, to another one. So, we're not going to use that 3500 anymore. There's no reason for us to have it. We're just going to get a TLX 82. Just get a basic one. Nothing fancy. We'll do the default vintage. Just want to put some more. Oh, that's good. Nothing special. Pallets auto load. Yes. Other than that, we'll leave all that default. Bye. Because I'm just already been healed on time. These issues tonight. I still didn't get to show off what I intended to show off tonight. Oh my gosh, are we still doing this? Holy moly. This one sits too high too? No, okay. And lower. It still sits too high, bruh. Man, this is gonna be the bane of my existence today. Let's see. If I get a version of a truck that sits low enough to pull the daggum thing, okay, because we just need a version of the truck that sits low. Yeah, I'm not getting that right now. That still appears to be too high. Alright. That's still sitting too high. Alright. Again, something else I'm gonna have to work on off camera. I'm I'm dialed out for right now. That's too high. I just need a truck that will pull the stupid gooseneck right now. And we're totally running out of time. And that's that. Alright. Apologies, guys. We're going to have to pick this up on the next episode of the series. I wanted to showcase, and this truck's not going to be able to do it either. It doesn't have enough horses. But you've been tuned in into another episode of Bose831 Gaming live on Twitch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Bose831 Gaming on most of your social media platforms: Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. YouTube as well. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you love. Let me know what you don't. But either way, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I'll get this figured out off camera right now. This is just one of those deals that's worked. Again, I tested this off camera. Did not have all the craziness that I'm experiencing now. But that's where it's at. Episodes of my YouTube of this live stream series will be uploaded to my YouTube channel, typically in their entirety. Same thing applies there. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And like I always say, if you're not having fun doing what you do, then what are you doing? You've been tuned in to Bose831 Gaming live on Twitch, Alma, Missouri. And I will catch you on the flip side. Have a good night, everyone.